panelists for being here, being on time, and working with me really well to get this organized. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Hello everyone, what a wonderful pleasure and honor to be part of this event here today. And I've been associated with Dr. Bhatia and Anup for well over 10 years when I was at Microsoft in India. I continue my journey with them as I moved to Dubai, and it's a real pleasure and honor today. So we have a lot of tasks, big task at hand today, because we've got some exceptional women leaders here on stage from diverse fields. And we have a topic that is actually very deep and very topical to the UAE at present, with the COP28 at hand. And we're going to be talking about design being defined by sustainability. So how we design a future as women leaders in our fields to ensure that the world we leave behind for our next generation is sustainable. Yeah? Who is this next generation? Why should we care? And how do we work today as women leaders and as leaders in general to be able to create a world that is sustainable and that leaves behind something that we are proud of as we get into the next generation and allow them to become leaders behind us. Yeah. So I'm going to do a little welcome as I ask my panelists to speak. But I'm going to start with you, Burcu. Burcu, I take you're the Director of Student Affairs at Gulf Medical University. Yeah, a very key role of being a part of the student body. Who knows students better than you actually? So what I want to know is that being involved with students, who are these students anyway? And what defines a young mind who we're leaving a future for today?
Thank you so much, Dr. Rishi. First of all, thank you to World Leadership Congress and Awards for hosting this wonderful event. I'm very lucky to be sharing this platform with these wonderful ladies. Thank you. Yes, my name is Burcu Aydın. I am the Director of Student Affairs Department at Gulf Medical University, and I'm very happy to say that our student body, 75% is all ladies, women. So I'll be voicing their opinions. Well, the future generation is obviously who's going to inherit our world that we live in today, and they will work and shape the world that we're going to live, and we will pass it to them. And what I think is their behavior and the way that they will lead this world is depending on a couple of factors, and that would be their perspective and values that they will live in this world. Definitely what I think is in our future generations, from healthcare and care professionals that I work with on a daily basis in student affairs, I see that the innovation that we have today will definitely evolve and become better to a point that we will not be able to even anticipate what to see. Now we have obviously ChatGPT and AI, and it's mind-blowing what our students can do. For future generations, like I said, I don't think what we'll anticipate, but they will definitely have a bigger access to all these new forms of innovation and technology. Now, another way that our future generations, their behavior and their values, I think will depend on what will affect their quality of life. And we need to look at the big topic, the hot topic, which is sustainability, obviously environmental sustainability. We hope that our future generation will focus on more conservation, climate change, and also the importance of sustainability practices. UAE is doing a wonderful job. We have COP28 coming up in a couple of weeks in Expo, where our current students and also our future generations, hopefully the little ones, will come, and there will be a great raise and awareness about sustainability. Also, what I believe in the future for our generations is that there will be a greater global connectivity. Right now we use social media, they're well connected, but the scale of connectivity between humans will be at a level where hopefully it will achieve a greater quality of life for the future. These are a couple of the feedback that I would like to give for our future generations.
That's excellent, Burcu. Thank you so much. I think some very key facts there of how much the UAE is investing in young minds, how much we are investing in our education sector so that we create young minds that are aware and on the right path towards thinking sustainability and thinking of future. So, as Dean of a Business School myself, which is De Montfort University, I completely am immersed in the same area as you are. And in fact, Shahra, our next speaker, Shahra Ali, is also from the world of education, which is why I had them together, because I thought it's really nice to start with who we are leaving the future for. So Shara, what I want to know from you, because you're the head of Foundation Studies for Curtin University, does this younger generation really care? What do they tell you as young as 18, 19-year-olds? Do they care about sustainability? Do they care about the responsibility we hold for their future?
Thank you for such a critical one, actually, the question. Thank you for giving me the platform to speak about this. Like you said, I do teach to students ranging from 15 actually, because I start from foundation, and it's amazing to see how much they actually support and lead a sustainable life. For example, even last week I had a student using a steel, a straw, right? And I'm like, what's it, miss? There are turtles that's dying, and I'm like, amazing. How are you? They are very out there, because one big factor will be is that they're aware of it. That's because of the social media, all the news that they are given, which they are privileged. Because when I was in school 16 years ago, so we didn't have that privilege. I wasn't aware of this. So it's amazing to see. The first point is education, because education is where they start understanding. It's great to see the change in way of teaching as well. A lot of universities actually take sustainable in their curriculum to make sure the students understand the connectedness between economic, social, and environmental issues. For example, we see that actually youngsters are very instrumental for putting out these strikes and everything. There are climate strike that was led by Greta Thunberg, which was then echoed by millions of young activists around the world, which put a lot of pressure in governments and corporations to take actions to lead a better, sustainable, and that supports sustainable life. I want to mention UAE having the initiative to start with no plastics. Now every time I have to think to carry a reusable bag so that I can prevent the life. And I have cousins who are like 5-year-olds. They remind me, don't you have to take a reusable bag now? Because we need to save our world. So they are being aware. Though there are different variations in understanding and actions, this can cause from where they come from, their social background, their education, their access to educations. Though there are some drawbacks, but I personally believe there is a very major change. That's because they know what they do today is going to affect their life in future, and they see what their ancestors have done for being so impatient right now of the world that is changing, which is so fast. They are degrading. The depletion of resources, these are the things that we see. The climate, the very aggressive climate changes actually. So these are things they are very afraid of. They don't know. Even the youngsters, they come, Miss, how long do you think this world will last? So these are the questions that they're asking to themselves, and I say, you are the youngsters, you should lead the path right now and then let the world know. So I personally do think they are more aware than the generation we have.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you, Shara. Thank you very much. And just request the audience to give us a little bit of attention, because there's a lot of preparation and thought that our panelists have got into here to be able to leave some very, very impactful points on stage. So I hope you can allow us just a few more minutes per speaker to be able to weave the story together that we have tried to bring on stage here today. Shara, thank you very much, because it is so key to know that these young minds are asking questions, and they are asking questions of us collectively. They're asking us, what are you doing to leave a better world for me? And how long will the world last? And these are some of the answers that we need to be able to exhibit, not just speak. So I think walking the talk is so, so important. So Shara, thank you for impressing upon us the fact that they are aware, they are watching, and hence we carry a very big responsibility. One of the points you made, Shara, was about how quickly awareness spreads amongst this generation and how aware they are when they speak to each other. So that brings me very neatly to Mona Sulaiman. In addition to your many, many achievements, you are Satyama's first Emirati blogger, an influence in the UAE, so kudos for that. Tajarbi, I think, is the platform that you host. It's an admirable journey, Mona. Just using your experience and using your impact that you have, I think it would be really useful to take the story one level forward and speak to us about the power of social media and what role it can have in influencing that young mind that both the first speaker spoke about in a sustainable future creation. So how does social media really help with your experience?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Actually, this is a very critical question because social media is playing a very crucial role, especially that we have now Snapchat, Instagram, TikToks, and X, and all these platforms are affecting 50% badly and 50% positively. And why I have to concentrate on a bad point of view, because most of people, they know that social media influencers or fashionistas nowadays, which we call, they are concentrating on brands, they are concentrating on makeups, tutorials, money, and how to bring new ideas for the tutorials and all this stuff. But there is a hidden part of social media influencer that maybe people doesn't know, because unfortunately, we have influencers who are already concentrating on the bad 50%. So when I started my journey in social media influencer, Ras Al Khaimah, basically my aim and my goal was to educate the generation toward a positive attitude toward the environment. I'm a mother of 3, and my daughter, she's 4 years old, and she's keep asking me why I'm using Snapchat to make some advertisement and unboxing and some tutorials, and she's imitating that as well. So my journey is about every woman journey who wanted to start a social media platform, but in a positive way, because our government, our leaders, everyone who is in this society, they should know that the influencing part is not only makeup and tutorials, it's also saving the environment and upbringing our children in a better way.
That's amazing. So social media is something we cannot get away from, isn't it? I think what has been a very, very critical point, which is a positive social media impact, but equally a negative social media impact. And how we curate and be careful that the leaders that we are, we encourage the positive spin of creating a sustainable narrative versus getting caught up in the trap of a negative spin, which is freely available today, isn't it? So it is a very, very delicate balance and a huge responsibility that we carry here. I think social media leads me very neatly into the positive and negatives that you spoke about of technology. And AI, again, is a buzzword that we all are living with, we cannot get away from. In fact, we can harness very, very well to our potential. So, Mrudula, I come straight into Mrudula, where we're going to turn our attention now from the future generation, from what affects them, to the design impact and the critical role that design has towards innovation. So the link between design for sustainable futures and innovation is very, very deep. And we're going to try and explore over the next few speakers that link between design and innovation. So Mrudula, you're from the media industry with over 16 years of rich experience in the media industry, yeah? You're the head of MENA for Pyxis. Yes. It would be very appropriate for us then to talk about how AI can play a pivotal role in innovation in the media sustainability business. I think it would be amazing to hear your perspective on that.
Thank you so much for the question. And first of all, good day everybody. And I'm really honored to be sharing this panel with you all today. And to start with, what my fellow panelist has mentioned, there is so much of media we listen and we hear about. And media is the backbone of our everyday life. So it is very important to understand how we can channelize the media and sustainability in a direction which can be in favor of the society and in setting up a sustainable future. Me definitely coming back from so many years in media, I have seen media progress. And today we understand the importance of AI, how it helps us to bring in efficient media through various aspects, how marketers are using media today in different channels. We say social media, we say your informative media, journalism, and how AI can help and benefit. So media can be a very, a resourceful process. It's a time-consuming process where to bring in efficiencies, AI are the tools, AI has some tools which can help you drive those efficiencies effortlessly. Giving you an example, creative AI. Creatives are used in all platforms, everything that we do today. And AI can help you generate these creatives at a very minimal investment of resources, saving your time and also saving the amount of energy that you invest in creating a content which might be effective, which not be effective, It doesn't target everybody in a very personalized way, but AI is the only tool that can help you create or generate content which can be hyper-personalized to suit each and everybody's need. And it understands the psychological behavior also of an audience to ensure that it is saving media wastage. It does not reaches out to an audience which is not interested in your brand, which is not willing to engage, but ensures that it engages a audience in a right way and lead to a future which is very much informed and precise in terms of decision making. And it helps you drive efficiencies according to that.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I think that really makes us join up the point of artificial intelligence, psychology, which is human,
Exactly.
social media, how it can work with it, and the young mind.
It also understands targeting audience in a very right way. So it doesn't reaches out to audience which is, just because it is available on each of the platform, but it reaches out to the audience who might be interested.
Amazing. So it's not a mass tool. It is a very hyper, as you said, it's a hyper-personalized tool. Yes. Amazing. That's wonderful. So we've gotten to the future generation. We've gotten to how they communicate. We've gotten to use of technology, which we cannot escape. We might as well embrace it and embrace it the right way and understand our responsibility with those tools going forward. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. I have a very, very interesting guest who's going to build on that story further. Divyata Rajaram. Yeah, so I want to introduce Divyata Rajaram here. Divyata, let's talk about design thinking. Yeah, design thinking is a very critical skill, obviously, when you look at design. And a lot of us don't have the benefit of using design thinking as yet in our work. But if ever you do get the opportunity in your workplace to use design thinking, please do jump on it because it is a wonderful way to be able to look at design and look at design sustainably. Yeah. You have a very interesting title, Divyata. You're called Chief Imagination Officer and Marketing Director of the Quadrilon Group, where design thinking and meets sustainability. Yeah? How does design thinking and sustainability meet, and where does it meet, and what impact does it have for us, for a future generation? Talk to us a little bit about that.
Thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Good afternoon, everyone. So I think what's really interesting about today is not just the fact that we're talking about sustainable development, but the fact that we all have the rare privilege of being in the UAE, may I say, and having had such a diverse journey. I'm sure every one of you has had an equally exciting journey. But I know that I myself have hugely benefited from the fact that I have been a part of both the cognitive processes as well as the creative economy. I'm a published author, I'm also a corporate woman. I've been in business and I've also been involved with publishing and the literary world and the cultural world. I think the only point that I'm trying to make is really that when we talk about sustainable development, it does not boil down to just climate change. It boils down to the values that each and every one of us really hold dear, and that of course translates to our organizations as well. What we're trying to really embrace and what we're trying to really create here, and I may say that UAE is establishing great leadership and thought leadership, which is what we really need. Which is that if we have to put this into practice, if we have to inspire not just the future generation, but I would say generations to come, we need to not just change our processes, we need to transform our businesses. We need to transform the way we think about sustainable development. And this means embracing an absolutely holistic model, where we are saying that we can no longer afford as companies to focus merely on profiteering, to focus merely on the economic aspect. And this is so intrinsically linked with design thinking, because when we actually say that we are, and each one of us, I appeal to each one of us in every company, whether it's an SME, whether it's a startup, whether it's a huge conglomerate, it makes no difference. But sustainable development, in my opinion, can only be achieved not just by design thinking practitioners, but can be achieved through society collaborating, through communities collaborating, through each one of us embracing the need to basically balance out the social, the economic, the environmental aspects, because all of this sits in tandem. And when we think of the principles of design thinking itself, what are we saying? At the heart of it is reflection in practice. And if there's one thing that not just the pandemic, but the last few years have taught us all, is that we cannot go back to the way we were. Everything has changed. You ask a young person today, like she said, a 5-year-old knows better. So why am I waiting for someone to tell me to take a reusable bag? I'm extremely proud to be the mother of an 18-year-old eco-warrior who has just returned back from a United Nations conference. I learn from her every day. So let's not just think about what we leave for the next generation. Let's think about what they are teaching us. And which is why, I'm so proud of my title being Chief Imagination Officer, because I think when you say imagination and we talk about design thinking, it's not a narrative that belongs to me or to you. It's a narrative that we are crafting every day, and we have the power and the ability to believe in sustainable development, to educate ourselves on the sustainable development goals as adults, not just teach children. But I find many adults are quite clueless about it's an umbrella concept. We need to know better, and we need to do better.
So is it trainable? Are we trainable for design thinking?
Absolutely. I would say, in fact, that the education really starts with the adults, because children nowadays know a lot better than us.
Fabulous. Okay. So let's learn from our younger generation. Let's give them an ear, because there is a lot that they teach us even without formal education that they go through. That's wonderful. Thank you very much, Amita. Very, very powerful words there. And I think it definitely resonates with what we believe, which is it's a holistic journey. It's not a journey about doing something for the climate. It's much, much more than that. In fact, sustainable leadership is something that we will speak about in a bit as well, because we have so many women leaders here. Dr. Mary Jayalal, you're the group CEO of the Prime group of companies. Yeah, so many congratulations for what you do. I'd love to focus your attention on what you do best, which is quality and processes towards a sustainable future. Yeah, so what role does quality and a process have in this entire engagement of creating a sustainable future for a younger generation and for what we do in our everyday lives?
To start with, I would like to appreciate the United Arab Emirates for being a sustainable country. And our economy is sustainable because of the regulations, the projects, the programs that our leaders are implementing here in this nation. So all of the residents in the United Arab Emirates, especially the ones who are working and belonging to the big corporations, they are very much aware of what is sustainability, what is the responsibility of a corporate. So to make this clear, sustainability has 4 pillars. And one of this is the economy, and then the human environment, and economy, environment, human, and social. So these 4 aspects are being addressed here in this nation, especially when it comes to the environment. Prime Group, the scope of our job is, or the service, is to maintain the environment, then the food also, the food security and food safety, for the health also, when it comes to even the water features that they have created, we are testing and examining the contamination in it, even the diseases that it's bringing. For example, for the water parks, Legionella could be there. Just like we learned from the experience of this pandemic, the coronavirus. So now even all these pipes, we are doing the risk assessment to be able for us to identify whether this is contaminated with Legionella that could cause respiratory diseases, this Legionnaire. So it's like this. And all the restaurants here in the hospitality industry, the food is being checked for microbiological analysis. They have inspectors, the municipality, they have inspectors to check all of it. So it all boils down to the maintenance and improvement of the quality. Because quality is the tool that our country is sustaining. The economy how this country is being sustained. So I really commend this country for having a very robust quality and sustainability advocates among the people.
So that's amazing. I think one of the themes that's coming right through is, kudos to the UAE, to this country to be able to provide us a platform for such engagements and the actual impact on the ground and not just the talk around creating platforms like this to create a sustainable future. So absolutely right. So quality checks, quality points, going back to design thinking, how processes, get embedded to creating integration. We're making a really strong progress towards seeing how my panelists now are going to show us the impact across their industry. So I've reserved 3 of them to be able to talk about the impact in their industries, and they come very interesting industries. So Shabnam, I'm going to start with you. Shabnam comes from an industry which will be very exciting to a lot of people. She's the creative director of Adrisya, jewelry design and an art therapist. So I'd love to know from you, Shabnam, jewelry design, art therapy, sustainability. What is the impact you've seen in your industry of a sustainable thought process for a future generation?
So, thank you for having me here. Sorry. So, jewelry and art therapy, it's a wonderful combination. I'll explain a little bit about myself really quick. So I started with this desire of having a jewelry business. It was a hobby business. I thought, okay, my desire is to create beautiful jewelry. But as I began and I started working and seeing the people around me, I realized there was much more to do. So this small jewelry brand started becoming a brand with purpose. We started by changing our material. We started using mosenites, lab diamonds, diamonds made above the earth. We tried as much as we can to use material that would not harm the earth. Then I started working with recycling, taking old pieces of jewelry or pieces that had sentimental value to my clients and encouraging them, give it to me, let me try to change it for you. And they were very happy with the results. So we incorporated recycling. Now, besides being a designer, I'm also an art therapist and I work with people of determination. So there was one man, a little story. He was both deaf and blind, and he made candles, and that's how we started. He was very worried, what am I going to do? So we started a project. Okay, you make the candles, I'm going to incorporate it into my website and we sell it. I gave these candles as a token to my clients. I sent it to them, but not as a product. I sent it to them as a story. You also can also uplift somebody else. And so that is the key core of my work, empowerment. And I believe that if we empower, we can create a ripple effect. So I believe that sustainability and empowerment, they both are 2 sides of the same coin. One can enhance the other to grow.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much. I think what a powerful point she's made, that sustainability along with empowerment, along with looking at the impact we can make, and what a pretty point she made about jewelry recycling and upcycling. It's just a small action, but a very powerful action nonetheless. And I think the lessons taken is any small action that we take in the spheres or the industries that we work in. I'm in the education sector, for example. You're in jewelry business, you're in quality control. How can we create an empowered future through that engagement is really, really important. Thank you very much. That was really, really interesting. Let's talk about another impact story. How can we not talk about health and healthcare when the UAE invests so much around giving good health to its people living here and contributing to the economy? We see a plethora of healthcare institutions here, all with very, very high quality of delivery, because communities matter to the UAE, and communities matter to us. It matters to everyone. So, Dr. Prithvi Priyadarshini, very, very honored to have you here with us. She's a gastroenterologist, and she is a healthcare professional with a purpose. And we would love to hear this link between healthcare in your experience and creating a community which creates a sustainable future for our generations to come. So what in your experience is that link? Because I know the United Nations as well and its goals has healthcare embedded into it. So what's your view, Priyadarshi?
Thanks, Ruchi. Let me just say, Ruchi, your question has another hidden question in it. So, healthcare leading to sustainable future or sustainable environment, and how does healthcare itself be a sustainable industry? So, let me just answer in the next 2 minutes for these two intricate questions. Now, we all agree there has been innovations in healthcare, which has led to the longevity of a person being increased. Meaning a person lives for more number of years now compared to 2 decades or 3 decades ago. And this also means a single person is persisting with having chronic diseases for a longer time, which is controlled thanks to healthcare industry. That also means each person is reaching out to healthcare more number of times and the population is also increasing. Again, leading to more requirement for these healthcare facilities. Now, Environment Protection Agency has labeled healthcare industry or hospitals as the second most energy consumption industry globally. So that answers the first question, how healthcare can impact the environment on the whole. Now, how do we go about it? In addition to my panelists over here who added on to the food and water and its sanitary things that we need to look into, let me add on a sustainable buildings, sustainable utilization of energy, using renewable energy wherever possible, in a possible and reproducible way, and also waste management, which is also in common with the food industry, right? Now, coming to, apart from these three important things, what you and me can do, not just to healthcare workers, when you go, do you actually ask for a prescription printout? Stop asking for that, because most of our healthcare hospitals, at least in Dubai, we have e-prescriptions. There is digitalization. Now, digitalization plays a key role here, where there is digital trials. Now, thanks to Dubai Health Authority, we have everything under one NAPID platform, where a doctor sitting in healthcare city can access the files or reports that was done in Jumeirah, right, from another hospital. So this easy accessibility of test reports, how does it help, you might ask me? See, repeating the single test, it's easy for you and me, for me as a doctor to prescribe, it's very easy. This was done day before yesterday, let's repeat it. No, this has to stop, because if a single small blood test, repeating how many things are utilized in that, starting from a glove to a syringe, all of that. So this has to be stopped. So digital trials, digitalization of everything, including reports, medical records, prescriptions, this has to be encouraged. And finally, how is it even possible? This is by instilling in each healthcare worker the responsibility, the sense of ownership of this sustainable future. That is when each one can come up with this at the personal level and take it forward. And being the gastroenterologist, I cannot end this without telling there has to be individual responsibility, and that starts with having sustainable diet. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful note to end on. It's all in the gut, it's all in the stomach. You're going to feel it within you.
Thanks for saying that. You're advertising me. Everything starts with the gut.
A clean gut, a healthy gut, and there we go. So it's all about your gut feeling, yeah? About how you do things. So thank you very much. I think the healthcare perspective and not having healthcare perspective would have been a half-baked conversation. So thank you for adding that. So we've seen the jewelry business, we've seen art therapy, we've seen healthcare. Health neatly leads into my last but not the least speaker here today, which is wellness. And I'm talking about wellness through another industry which is very important, the UAE, sport. Yeah, so I'm very, very pleased to introduce Charvi Bhatt. Now, Charvi again is a woman of many accomplishments. Charvi, I didn't know when I was reading your profile which one to pick, but she has broken many glass ceilings. She's a cricket, ex-cricket player and a cricket commentator, and she's an educator. And you have towards encouraging sport within communities, yeah? What then, actually the link between sport and sustainability is very obvious, yeah, because it is a sustainable, healthy future. But I'd love to know your lived view of creating that whole tsunami of wellness through what you do as a commentator. How do you project your views and how do you ensure that you do your role in a sustainable future?
Firstly, thank you, ma'am, and it's an absolute honor to be here. As a commentator, just to maybe give a little introduction about myself as well, I'm the only female cricket voice in the Middle East. I'm recognized as the only female cricket voice in the Middle East. And if you do tune in into the radio and if you listen to cricket commentary, this voice will be familiar. That's me. I bring the cricket matches live within the UAE across the rights holders. But when I started cricket we know is a gentleman's game. And being a female representing the game here today brings about the opportunity to let all of you also know that it's no more a gentleman's game. We've in fact changed the annotations of how we recognize batsmen to now batters, bowlers to now obviously female bowlers and male bowlers, and we've changed that annotation. And one of my panelists also spoke about social sustainability, and that's what we bring about when it comes to sport. Being able to stand on the same stage, the same ground, as any other man would be able to. If you see now the ratio in sporting industries from 1 to 5, where it was 1 female for every 5 or 6 men, has now come down to for every 2 male commentators, we've got 1 female. So we've come down to that. So we've made a lot of progress in that front when it comes to different media platforms that brings about. Now, sport is a platform or is a ground where we have no biases. That is the only space on this planet where we don't look at anybody based on the religion they come from or the color that they have. Are they male or female? What is their representation? They don't come from them. You're only judged based on the skill that you possess. How well can you play the particular sport that you are? Whether it's cricket, whether it's football, or any other sport that you pick up. How well are you judged on that? That is the only space on this planet where we have zero biases. And that is something that I personally bring a lot in my, in the youth that I communicate with the students that I educate as well. And I'm so glad to be even part of an educating sector, being part of sport, that allows me to tell them that, hey, we live in a very sustainable world, a world which is accepting of people no matter what background they come from. And social sustainability is so important because acceptance is so important in today's world. Whether male or female, we're all very much capable of achieving the different heights in our own different capacities. Sometimes there are some groups and some students that are not able to understand that we will be able to achieve something, whether it's males or females. And I'll share a little story from this morning, and it will be a very short one. I'm guiding the student into his research project. And I said, hey, you're talking about a national sports development program and why that is important for every country. And we're trying to build a research project based on that. And he said, I said, who's going to be your sample? He said, I'm going to speak to certain, youth between the age of 12 and 16. I said, okay. Who are going to be these people? Oh, they're all going to be boys. I said, why? Why wouldn't you speak to women? He said, but how am I going to talk to women? I said, no, it's important because wellness is not only for male, but for females as well. And I think we need it a lot more than males, the male counterparts do as well. So just trying to bring that social sustainability aspect to it, trying to make sure that we all have acceptance amongst all of us, and obviously being in the sporting field where we have no biases.
Wonderful, wonderful, Charlie. Thank you so much. Charlie has a voice in the mic, but we all have a voice in our workplaces. We all have a voice in the places that we wish to have a voice in. Yeah? And I think that's the very, very important message to take back from. Now, I'm just going to end with a very quick round across my panelists because we've got such wonderful conversations. I'm sure you agree that we need an hour and a half more with this kind of audience and with this kind of panel to really dig into their experiences, but we don't have that time. I'm getting the glare from the websites. But what we're going to do is ask you just one word or one sentence, quick one, that what do you believe that you as a female leader can bring to the table today to create a sustainable future for tomorrow? One word or one sentence, rapid fire. Yes, please.
Passion.
Will be?
Compassion.
Compassion. Wonderful. Compassion seen as a female leadership trait anyway, but there's nothing called today as male and female leadership traits anyway. That's for the next time. Yes, please.
Inclusivity, like being able to hear any voices and any perspective. If people think that they are heard, more people will
Amazing.
talk.
Inclusivity of voices, being able to hear and listen to everybody. Yes, Mona. Thank you.
As a social media influencer, I have always stick on this sentence since I was in the school. If you dream to fly with eagles, don't waste your time by swimming with ducks.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. That's wonderful. Rudra.
So the one word I feel is responsibility. So you should act responsibly if you are looking forward to a sustainable future in every single thing that you do. Maybe using a social media or doing anything in your life.
Wonderful.
Responsible, rather than concentrating on not to do good.
Super.
Just do good.
Super. So responsibility across all that we do. Devyata?
Of course, I'd have to say imagination.
Imagination.
Because I do believe a lot of what we create is going to depend on how we visualize it.
Absolutely.
How powerful our narrative is, first starting with our own heads.
Like they say, Devyata, if you can imagine it, you can do it.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? So it starts with imagination, starts with the gut. I'm going to take steal your gut. Yes, please, Mary.
For me, it's the consistency and creativity.
Consistency, wonderful. Being consistent after a cause that you go after. What a wonderful word she's bringing to the table. Thank you very much. Shabnam.
For me, it's innovation. Innovation in our products and our approach.
Wonderful. Innovation can be in small things or in large things. It doesn't have to be a breakthrough product. It could be in something that you're doing in everyday life anyway. Thank you. What a beautiful word.
For me, it should be resilience.
Resilience, okay.
And ability to adapt.
Wonderful. Resilience and adapting to your environment. What a beautiful word to bring. Yes?
I think I'll reinforce the word that I used before, and I would say unbiased acceptance.
Unbiased acceptance, inclusivity, unbiased acceptance, and the word for me, just to end this, is gratitude. And with a lot of gratitude in my heart to our wonderful guests and to our wonderful panelists, thank you very much. Really, really grateful and to the organizers for giving us this platform today and this wonderful forum. Thank you very much. Very grateful for your time. Thank you. Thank you.